Hello everyone. In this session of CCNA series, I will discuss configuration provisioning. So, what is configuration provisioning? Configuration provisioning refers to how to provision or deploy changes to the configuration once made by the changing files in the configuration management system. Two of the major features included in the all the configuration management tools are configuration template and variable, which includes the ability to represent configuration files as templates and variables so that devices with similar role can use the same template but with different values. Another feature we have is files that control configuration automation, which includes the ability to store the logic steps in a file scheduled to execute so that the changes can be implemented by the automation tool without the engineer being present. So let's go ahead and look at those features in detail, starting with configuration template and variable. You can take any networking device in your network, for example, your enterprise WAN router, which connects your LAN to the WAN. Number of those routers depends on the size of your enterprise network. Devices with similar role will have similar configuration. Here we have two WAN routers. You can call it as a redundant router. They will have similar configuration. So, for example, let me take an example of one WAN router with below this configuration. All the unhighlighted portion could be the same on all the WAN routers. Here in case two WAN routers. So configuration management tools can separate the components of the configuration into parts. The first part, which includes the configuration common to all the devices in that role, and that is called a template. Another part uh, includes the configuration which is unique to any one device. Here in this case, we have WAN 1 router. So these values are unique and they are called variables. For example, IP address, host name will be different on those similar role devices. So let's understand this scenario where I have a network admin who edits the standard template file as per device roles and variables accordingly. The template and variable is then processed by the configuration management tool to produce the ideal configuration for every device. The intended configuration for a device is generated to the configuration management system, as I said, by processing template along with any associated variables. So let's take an example of template file used by Ansible. Here it's using Jinja 2 language for templates. If you see, variables are highlighted inside set of double curly brackets like host name, address. If you compare the previous example, uh, here the variables are highlighted inside curly brackets. And to supply the values for a device, Ansible calls for defining variable files using YAML or YAML. So this is the syntax for defining the variable in YAML. Host name, address, mask, OSPF details and everything. So There are some big advantages of using templates. One of them is it focuses on having standard configuration for each device role. New devices with an existing role can be easily deployed by copying an existing per device variable file and altering its value. Troubleshooting is will be easier when you have a standard templates for all the similar role devices. And tracking the file version for the template versus the variable file eases troubleshooting as well. Another feature which we'll discuss is files that control the configuration automation. Configuration management involves various file types to manage and automate system configurations. Here we have some of the common files you could see in any of the configuration management tools, such as hosts or inventory files. These files list the host or system that the configuration management tool will manage, such as host names, IP addresses, etc. of that host. Then we have template files. Templates are used to generate configuration files dynamically based on variables and other parameters. They allow for configuration files to be reused across multiple systems with different configurations. And then we have variable files. These files contains variables that are used in templates and configuration files. So each tool uses a language of some kind that engineers use to define the action steps. That's it for this session. I hope this was informative for you. Thank you for watching, and if you have any queries, please do let me know. I'll be happy to help you.